welcome to HITLAB's 2023 Summit. Would you mind introducing yourself, your name, your title, and the organization that you represent?
Sure. My name is Julie Kim. I work for Takeda Pharmaceuticals, and I'm president of the U.S. Business Unit and country head.
Well, Julie, thank you so much for chatting with me today.
Yeah,
Would you mind
pleasure.
going into a little bit of what Takeda is, what your mission is, and why you're attending HITLAB Summit?
Sure. So we're a global biopharmaceutical company. We are headquartered in Japan. We were founded over 242 years ago in Osaka, Japan, but today we're a global company. We've got a focus on neuroscience, gastroenterology, rare diseases, plasma-derived therapies, and oncology. And also very proud to say that we're launching our first vaccines, which is a dengue vaccine.
That's wonderful. So can you talk to me a little bit about how digital health is playing a role in Takeda, how maybe you're using it, anything that you're paying attention to that you might implement in the future?
Well, I would say it's a shorter answer to say where it's not playing
Okay,
a role
sure.
in the company, because really at this point, every aspect of what we do is being impacted by digital technology in some way, shape, or form. So whether it's, let's say, in our manufacturing sites, we're leveraging technology and automation, et cetera, to make our processes more robust and more efficient. Through our R&D work in terms of the discovery and development of medicines, technology is being leveraged all throughout. And then when you look at what we do on the commercial end, which is more the scope of my responsibilities in the US, every aspect of what we do, whether it's internal in terms of how we operate, we're leveraging digital technology, but also in terms of how we interact with our stakeholders, patients and healthcare providers. So really every aspect.
That's amazing to hear. Yeah, absolutely. So having worked with digital technology for a while and seeing it progress, what are some major trends that you see, especially as digital health becomes more popular, as some companies aren't as well versed in it as Takeda is? Where do you see digital health making its biggest impact?
Well, look, I would say a couple of things. So one, everyone today talks about generative AI.
Of course.
And I do think that that is fundamentally going to change how we operate in the healthcare space. But because what we do impacts a patient on the other side, we do have to be more careful and more responsible in terms of how we approach that, because we know there's a lot of data that is used to support AI and digital technology, but there's a lot of bias in that data. And so we have to be very thoughtful and intentional to make sure that we root out those biases in terms of what we do. And then I think it can have a profound impact in terms of the speed of development of new medicines, in terms of how care is truly now going to be able to be personalized to the individual level. So I think we're really at the edge of significant change.
Yeah. So I know you were invited as a guest speaker at the summit today. Could you give a little bit of a summary of what you spoke about and what you wanted the audience to take away?
Sure. And it's on the same topic. It's on the same topic, right? So basically, data technology, the transformation that's underway, we've made some significant strides, which has been great.
Yeah.
But there are also gaps that still exist, particularly when you look at things from the lens of health equity. So my talk was really about, hey, here's some great things that we've done as an industry, but here's what we have to watch out for so that we make sure we can bring everyone along together so that we do the most good for most people.
Yeah, absolutely. And that also addresses accessibility, which I guess is my next question for you. How do you think you can use digital health to make sure that you're impacting as many people as possible?
Yeah, and look, it's one of these things where when I didn't share this story during my talk, but when you look at data and you see, oh wow, there's this population of patients that has been accessing care. A lot of times the immediate thought is, okay, so how do we more effectively target that population? Right? Rather than taking a step back and saying, well, I wonder why all of these other populations are not, especially if it's in an area that is not gender specific or ethnicity specific, to ask the questions, well, why aren't we having more individuals from these other populations accessing the medicine, and then figuring out how do we create better access for them versus just focusing on how do we get a more effective way of addressing the population that already is.
Yeah, absolutely. That's incredible. Sounds like you're finding gaps in healthcare and doing what you can to fill them and make sure that no man's left behind. So, Julie, thank you so much for talking with me today and answering all my questions. I really appreciate it. And I hope you
pleasure.
enjoy the rest of the summit.
Thank you.